What is your net worth? Can you answer that question? It's something you should think about. And in this video, I'm gonna go through why I track this number very closely. I'll show you why, I'll show you how I do it. Let's go. Let's start with a quick definition of net worth. This is basically an individual's wealth when you take all of their assets and you subtract their liabilities and you spit out a number, and that's their net worth number. So when you hear the term, hey, that person's a millionaire, that doesn't necessarily mean that person's earning millions of dollars. It simply means that their net worth equates to $1 million or more. Now, according to CNBC in 2021, the average net worth for someone under 35 is about $73,000. But when you look at the median number, that's about $13,900. It's really important that you know your net worth so you can start to measure, you can start to see if you're making progress towards your financial goals. You may have no net worth or a negative net worth. And this is very common, especially when people start graduating college and they have, no assets to their name. They don't own a home, and most of them would have student loan debt. And so you're kind of starting from a negative place. But don't let that fool you. The Millionaire Next Door, it talks about that high income earners, people like doctors and lawyers, they often have a lower net worth because they have so much debt, medical school debt. They drive an expensive car, have a big home, and they owe a lot of money. And so when you start to look at what they have in the assets column versus all of that debt, it doesn't look that great in some cases. And so that's why someone, maybe a single mom making 50, 60K a year could have a higher net worth than a doctor or lawyer. Jumping here to the computer, let's quickly look at this Vanguard net worth worksheet. And what's really cool about this is it lists out the potential categories in each of these buckets under both the assets side and the liabilities side. So you'd fill something out like this, where you're going to list your, cash, how much money you have in your checking or savings accounts, any kind of retirement, any investments in the stock market or other investments, things like on the physical side, physical property, things like your car, maybe you have some artwork, etc. And then of course, real estate. So you'd list that here. Now, one thing to call out, let's take the car example. Your car may be worth, let's say, $8,000, and you have a loan on the car. That loan will be listed over in the liabilities section. So that's seen here. Those are going to offset when we do the final equation. You'll also, on the liabilities side, list things, mostly your debts, right? This is student loan debt, medical bills, credit card debt. If you do have a home or other real estate, you would list the balance on the mortgage for that home. And when you total both of those up, you will get your net worth. Okay, so that's an overview on the equation. Now let's move over to the sheet where I calculate my own net worth. All right, so this is a copy of the exact Google Sheet that I use to track my own net worth every single day. I've changed the values here from my own personal amounts, and I've put some placeholder data here. But the cool thing to see is this top asset line item, I like to list as my stocks and investments. And what I do is I have a investments tab. And so let's just pretend this was all of my investment holdings. What I actually will do is list out what the investment is. I will grab the ticker, and I can calculate through Google Finance the price in real time. So you can see that equation here. And then I'll put the shares that I have, and it'll spit out basically a real-time value of this investment. And during the week while the stock market is open, that's going to fluctuate. And then I will pipe that back over to this line item so that this is going to be constantly updated and have the most real-time picture of my investment balance. The other items are less frequently changing. As I get paid or get some kind of check, I can add that to these things. But that's really how I like to look at this on a daily basis. One big thing to call out is because I'm thankfully and worked very hard to become debt-free, I actually do not have any liabilities over here. Now, your situation, this may be completely lopsided, and that's okay. The first step is knowing where you stand. Okay, I want to show you one cool example. This is the same numbers, but with the idea of a rental property, a condo thrown into the mix. And so what I've really done is right here, I've added a line item for rental property. And over here, I've added this condo loan liability. And so what this would actually look like is, imagine that I found a condo on Zillow. I think it's really undervalued and it's listed at $100,000. You know, if I bought that condo, I would, let's say, put 20K down. I would then have this $80,000 loan. After painting it and fixing it up a bit, I believe that the condo actually now has a value of $120,000. So when I list those two numbers in the net worth equation, we'll see that my net worth has actually went up basically $40,000. And that's really capturing the equity in that rental condo between the debt owed on it and its value. Obviously, I'd have to sell the condo to capture that value, but that's still how we track those types of situations into this net worth equation. I encourage you to think about your net worth often. Start to go through the scenarios that would impact the equation and how you can grow that number. Would that be maybe asking your boss for a raise or considering a career change where you can earn more money? Would that be paying off some debts? Maybe getting out of a bad car or vehicle situation, selling it and driving something that's more affordable. Whatever it looks like, you'll start to see, wow, there's real things I can do to impact this number and help it increase. And most importantly, starting to invest your money. That's going to let the money work for you, grow the net worth income without a lot of involvement from your side. And it's going to be really great in the future. Hey, if this was helpful for you, I'd love for you to consider subscribing to my channel where I share videos like this every single week. I'm going to talk through lessons I'm learning on personal finance, plus all the financial lessons I learned from building and selling my tech company. If that sounds good, please subscribe, share my channel with someone who could use the help, and we will talk to you in next video.